Is your marriage in trouble, but you're trying to save it and you need to protect yourself financially? Well, there's a way to do that. It's called a post-marital agreement. Hi, I'm Julie. I'm a divorce attorney who's been taking the drama out of divorce through mediation for over 24 years. Today, let's talk about post-marital agreements. First, let's discuss what is a post-marital agreement. A post-marital agreement is a legally binding contract that is only available to you if you are married. Think of it as a prenup, but for married people. So why do some people get post-marital agreements? I'm glad you asked. There are several reasons why people get post-marital agreements. Generally speaking, you're trying to save your marriage or you want to stay married, and one of the following has happened. Either somebody has had an affair, they're spending money like a drunken sailor, they've recently acquired a significant asset like inheritance or a new business, or they're just unpredictable in their behavior, potentially undiagnosed mental illness. These are the reasons why people tend to get a post-marital agreement. They're trying to save the marriage, but there's a whole bunch of drama going on in the marriage that makes them need to also protect themselves financially with a post-marital agreement. Most people would consider divorce in that situation and then get remarried if it all works out. But there is this option to get a post-marital agreement so it locks all the terms in while you're working on your marriage and you can stay married. This is really good for people who have concerns about marriage and divorce for religious reasons or for cultural reasons as well. It's also really good for people who realize that a divorce is going to be incredibly costly, meaning not just the amount that it takes to get divorced, but the post-divorce after effects. And they're trying to save their marriage, even if it's just for the financial reasons to stay married. Post-marital agreements address assets, address liabilities, address spousal support, and even estate planning. In short, post-marital agreements help couples stay married while they're working through the ick of whatever the problem is, and they're able to protect themselves in case they can't work through that ick. The last thing a couple wants is to do the hard work and walk through the fiery pits of hell to save their marriage, make agreements, verbal agreements, and then all of a sudden get served a year or two later with divorce papers, and those agreements are not being honored. A post-marital agreement saves you from all that. It puts those agreements in writing, so you have the time to work through the ick, and if for some reason you can't work through the ick, you already have things locked down so that you're safe and protected. The same with your spouse. So what are the benefits of a post-marital agreement? It can provide peace of mind. It helps avoid lengthy and costly future court battles. And it can ensure a fair distribution of financial assets. So what are the requirements for a post-marital agreement in Oregon? There are basically 4 elements. It needs to be in writing, it needs to be voluntary, it needs to be signed, and it needs to be fair and equitable. So there are about 4 different ways you can get a post-marital agreement in Oregon. You can hire 2 attorneys, you can hire 1 attorney, you can hire 1 mediator, or you can hire 1 attorney mediator. Now, hiring 2 attorneys is always the best option. It's safe. However, it's also going to break the bank, probably about 3 vacations worth. Hiring 1 attorney, not safe, because that person is only going to be advising 1 person. So let's say that attorney represents the husband. That means that the wife is completely hanging out there at the whim of the attorney and the husband. And everything will be in writing, so I can bet you that all those drafting clauses are going to benefit the husband and not the wife. So don't waste your money on just 1 attorney. You can hire a mediator. I'm putting that in air quotes because in Oregon, there's no licensing requirements to be a mediator. My 17-year-old can market himself as a mediator on the internet right now, and he's doing absolutely nothing wrong. So all those people who say that they're mediators out there, but they don't have licenses like attorney, etc., to back them up, they don't know what they don't know. They have no education to back it up, and they have no insurance to back up if they've screwed up on you. And finally, there's the option of hiring an attorney mediator, like myself. I like this option. I think it's the Goldilocks option. It's safe because I'm neutral. I'm never acting as an attorney. I'm only acting as a mediator. I'm not going to favor one party over the other because, again, I'm neutral and I'm not advocating for either party. I look at it this way. My job is to educate you what options exist for you. My job is to inform you what are the advantages and disadvantages to all those options that you could choose so that you can make the best decision possible. I'm not going to hide the ball. It's going to be a very transparent process. And it will cost you about one vacation, but it won't cost you three. I suggest you hire an attorney mediator, even if it's not me, but that's your vetting criteria. So if you're considering getting a post-marital agreement, give me a call. The details are down below.